Hey guys, CJ Battle here again. Thank you again for tuning into The Pill once more. I wanted to continue to use the platform as a space for not only alternative medicine, but some of the world's most original forms of healing. My next guest is someone who we've been on the health journey together basically since consciousness, you know what I mean? This is my best friend who I've watched grow into a successful doctor, business owner, spokesman, as well as leader in the community. And I wanted to highlight and maybe get some perspective from the man himself.
My name is Dr. Maurice Isuo, and I'm grateful to be on this show. I am the owner of Innates Chiropractic, and that is the business that we are in right now. This is where we hold space for people to transition from dis-ease into ease, where they can go and operate at the life that they always wanted to, go back hiking, go back snowboarding, picking up their kids, taking care of their kids.
Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of people come in here one way and leave just fully able-bodied. That's just my own personal testimonies from what I've seen. I always send anyone, you might have got a recommendation come in the other day. That's probably why you texted me. He said, hey, you good? He came in. But it's real cool to see it happening in real time. You've obviously spent time traveling the world, mastering your craft. You've adjusted the island of Haiti multiple times.
Yes, sir.
I've seen you all over the North America, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see where you go next. But for the people today, what I wanted to break down, because it's easy for, 8-9 year veterans to lose perspective on why it's important to transition. And these viewers, they might not understand why chiropractic would be a prioritized version of medicine over, traditional medicine. So why would I be better off coming into an office like this one versus, the traditional alleyways?
Right, true. So there's so many angles on that question right there, and I'm actually happy that we're going into this, because it's something that I've been discussing with some of my patients, but also just in the quantum. By quantum, I mean what is not seen but is going on all the time. So whenever people ask, hey, why should I go to a chiropractor? I don't feel any aches, or I don't feel any pains, or even when they do feel aches and pains, they question, well, how can a chiropractor help me? Well, that's to say that chiropractic is stemmed from sacred medicine way before we had the pill bottle, way before we had the injections, right? And I don't even want to even talk about the
scalpel.
Yeah. And even with the scalpel, they were doing minor incisions and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm not too fond of
just completely knocking
exactly.
that. I feel you. And shout out to everyone who got us to where we are today in medicine, from the midwives in the bush to the researchers in the lab. We appreciate you guys. So.
Yeah, and so with that being said, why I feel like chiropractic should be the primary care, and this is one thing I'm always going to be pushing anytime that anybody asks me about why chiropractic is important, is because when you think about a common condition or a complicated condition, let's say, for instance, you are feeling stomach issues, you've been constipated for 2 days, 3 days, and you also, in combination with that, have shoulder pain and then numbness going down your right leg. All right. So these are forms of dis-ease, which translate into dis-ease, right? Where people get cancers and people get irritable bowel syndrome, people get Parkinson's, right? These are things that people qualify as a disease.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts with dis-ease, ease as in calmness in the body. It's no longer there because the spine it's lost its juxtaposition, which means that the segment above and below it have moved and caused the body to feel a sense of stress. So now it's trying to adapt, and in the way that it's adapting, it's moving the segments around and causing it to relay a message that isn't transcribed properly. And so now the body is losing function in that arm and getting numbness in that arm, losing function in that muscle that works the shoulder. So then you tell me that when you go to the medical doctor, how the process goes. It's only one way they can do it for you. It's, okay, you come in, hey, look, doc, my shoulder is hurting. I don't know what's going on. They say, look, and this is why the chiropractor should be your primary physician. They say, hey, look, we're going to give you these pills. What'd you say? It's a 6 out of 10 pain? Okay. They type it in, and then where does it hurt? The back of the shoulder? Okay, and then they look it up, and they're like, okay, infraspinatus. Okay, you have a rotator cuff tear. Now you go home, you pop in the pills, and you might get a little relief for a day or two, but that rotator cuff tear is still there. There hasn't been any true direction in moving it from dis-ease to ease. And so then you come back and you're like, hey doc, it's been 2 weeks, I finished all my pills, but they say, oh man, this is more severe than we thought. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna prescribe you some cortisol shots. I'm telling you, and you can replay this video over and over again.
I'm about to say, you got the playbook.
Yeah, and this it's I'm not lying. Man. This is literally how it goes. So then you go and you get these cortisol shots because you trust these doctors because they built the society off of this allopathic model where you have to trust these doctors. They have your insurance. They're the easiest way. You can get the surgery without paying the least amount of money.
Yeah.
You can even get it for free sometimes depending on your status. And so then you go and you get this cortisol shots. And you know what? It actually does help for a little bit. For a week, you're like, oh my gosh, the pain is gone. I love this doctor. Nobody can tell me otherwise. And then in a few months, the pain comes back worse. Why? Because when all those cortisol shots wear down, your body now has an excess of cortisol. So now it's trying to adapt to that. So then it's producing this more stress onto the body, raising epinephrine, norepinephrine in the body. And so now you are feeling, less well and more pain because you never really got the root cause fixed, and it's just continuing to deteriorate. So then that you go back to the doctor, you're like, yo doc, you helped me last time. What do I do? Like it's hurting again. So now they tell you it's either two routes. You go back and get more cortisol shots until your body gets numb of that and doesn't work anymore. Or they say, hey, look, listen, this is a really serious case. We're going to have to go ahead and move into rotator cuff surgery with exploration, where they explore and try to see, hey, what else is going on in that shoulder.
So basically, do you want to donate your body to science?
Facts. That's pretty much what they do there because you have to remember, when you're going to these medical doctors, it is called a practice. It's a medical practice. So they're trying. They're just trying, you know? There's no guarantee, and most times they will not give you the percentages. They'll say, hey, I've done this surgery like 40 times. Okay, well, ask them post-surgery, how many people have come back feeling, if not the same.
That's what you got to ask them, huh?
Better.
How many people are, show me the car facts.
Show me the post-surgery facts. Like, because you can have a successful surgery, that means that you woke up alive. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that now your arm is operating how it was before the surgery. It doesn't qualify as a successful surgery. So they can say, I've done this 40 times successfully. But then if you check post, that person could be having lack of range of motion in the shoulder. That person could be having excruciating pain. That person could be having nerve impingement.
So they successfully finished up, closed you up, sent you off.
With you being alive and you not passing away. Yeah, that's a success.
That's success.
Yeah. And so, so then that is it, right? And so what I want you to do is rewind to the beginning where I told you whenever you first walked to the office and you said, hey, my shoulder is bothering me. I need your help. What's going on? The reason why you should go to a chiropractor is because whenever someone tells you, hey, my shoulder's going on, the first thing that we do is we touch that space.
Yeah.
You feel it. Is there heat change? How's the muscles feeling? Is the joint out of position? Right? So then now you are actually having somebody that is being attentive and actually just touching There's power in touch. Whenever you would fall and get a boo-boo, what would your mom do? She'll come on there and be like, come here, rub it, and that itself heals the human body. So if you do have something going on, the main thing you should do is go to a chiropractor primarily, because even if it is something that you feel like you need to get surgery on, at least you're getting the most holistic approach, the least invasive. And if you look up, you can Google the safest healthcare, and it is chiropractic. It's healthier than any dentistry and any other type of medical model, because you can't really hurt.
Yeah.
You can't really hurt.
And I do want to go back and touch on, the word practice, because I've watched you explore and develop your own techniques in the world of chiropractic, give it your own sauce and style. I mean, look at this office, man. I don't see many chiropractors doing it like this. That's all I gotta say.
Appreciate that, bro.
But with that, I did want to highlight, those doctors are practicing, you're learning, but the difference is they're trying to, act like they know what's going on inside of you. What you're doing is thousands of years of culmination of, human learning to figure out how to stimulate the body to heal itself. And that's really important, man, because like you're saying, the self-healing properties are, that honestly trumps it all. Like, a lot of people might feel like they're not capable of getting out of, some of the places that they're in as far as health goes, or mentality, or, life situations. But, as long as you facilitate the proper environment, everyone's body is capable of being in prime health. Like, there's no reason to be living in a state of dis-ease, as we're saying here. So definitely, think about, if not a chiropractor, hit up Innates Touch, see, in their vast network, if they have any chiropractors in your area. They're all over. Hand Alchemy is all over. Innates Touch is all over. We got healers in our vicinity, in our lifetime right now, that we should be accessing.
And even so, speaking on healers, it's more than just chiropractors as well. Like, in a form, like, I feel like you are a healer, because in my definition of healer, you can only heal to the extent that you've been healed. So what I hold dear to me is the self, the reflection, the going inward is the way that you can begin to work and clear up any traumas, any damages, so you become a sacred mirror. Once you become a sacred mirror, you're no longer fighting between what is the identity and what is real. You are now somewhere in the middle, where you're operating from awareness, from the spirit, right? And when you're in that space, you can be a chiropractor, you can be a musician, right? You can be a broadcaster, you can be a breath work person. But whenever you are clearing that center and you're operating from the point of truth and you're operating from a point of awareness, in that space where, like I was talking about, the quantum, where everything exists and nothing exists at the same time, right there in that median, that middle, that center point, that circumference, that's zero, that at that point right there, you are a healer. So whenever people walk into your presence, there doesn't even have to be a word to be said, honestly. They can walk in. So there's even sometimes whenever patients come into the office and no words are even said. They come in and they sit down and they're in excruciating pain. And as I just sit there, and there's a point in time where time is very relative, and we're just sitting there in silence. And then as I begin to say, where does it hurt? They'll go and they'll point to where it hurts. And as they're pointing to where it hurts, they're trying to remember where it hurts, and they're moving their arm around. And they're like, wait, hold on. It's usually when hold on. And they try to recreate the pain, but the pain's no longer there. I haven't touched them. Nothing has happened. And so then you tell me who's really the healer? Like, what's really going on here? And those moments right there isn't made to be, shine and put on camera and all those different things. Those moments are made to be understood and to be put out into the universe for it to duplicate, for it to recreate. And with CJ being a healer, I know that listening to his music, sound therapy is a form of healing. There's many people in the world that have very, very chronic issues that are deeply rooted,
Man.
and if they can sit in a space and then just listen to the music.
Man.
And as you listen to the music, those things start to shed away, and then the back pain goes away,
Man.
that discomfort goes away, that anxiety goes away. And these are all forms of dis-ease too, that they regulate in the brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the hippocampus is off regulated, and so now the releasing of all the hormones is throwing the whole body out of whack because it's not balanced by the pituitary gland. So now they're excreting an excess amount of human growth hormone, or they're excreting an excessive amount of adrenal hormone. So now it's stimulating the adrenal gland to release stress, and so now this person is now just excessively stressed, and then with stress they get anxiety because they feel like the next thing is coming after them, but that's all just imbalance in the pituitary gland. And so you tell me that if you sit in a room with CJ and you listen to the frequency of his music, that won't be able to calm down the adrenal gland, which will start calming down the brain, and now the brain's saying, oh, I'm in a point of zen, I'm in a point of peace. Okay, pituitary gland, stop producing so much of this hormone. And so now the pituitary gland starts pumping slower and calms down, and so now the adrenals and the cortex start calming down, and so now you're like, wait, I'm supposed to be scared, I don't feel scared anymore, right? So now the stomach ache that was supposed to be there is no longer there, and that was one thing that you're about to go to the doctor and get a whole bunch of pills for, but you just sat in the room with the musician that played the frequency that your body was needing, that was craving for the healing, and now your body can just start producing the healing. And that's one thing that, I work a lot with the nervous system, that's what, and also, main thing to put in the beginning of the video, this is a disclaimer, I'm not saying that I am bashing, there's no bashing or attacking the medical model, so this is just all hypothetical. Everything that's happening here is hypothetical. These are all stories.
This is a theory, theoretical.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This is
these are things that stories. These are stories we hear in the practice as they go on. So
keep hope alive.
And so whenever we look at the nervous system, we realize that whenever you have an off balance in the frontal cortex, a lot of things start to dysfunction. Frontal cortex via the front of your brain, right? The front of your brain is what controls your balance, which controls your parasympathetics that are in the prefrontal cortex, and this is causing now whenever your frontal cortex is off of balance, is no longer inhibiting your sympathetics, so now they're going crazy, right? And so then now your parasympathetics are being inhibited, so it's just offing that from the temporal lobe, it's offing it, so then now you're in this state of fight or flight and flexors. And so then what happens is, because that I go via the occiput is what I use to regulate and check how the body is what position and what state it currently is in. So if the occiput is out, I can already tell that you have 3 or 4 different cranial nerve deficiencies. Cranial nerves there's 12 that's coming off of the brainstem, and those innervate different parts of it, one being the vagus nerve that innervates the heart. So if this is off balance, we can almost guarantee, not saying for every situation, but almost guarantee that the vagus nerve is not stimulating properly. And one of the functions of the vagus nerve is that it stimulates the acetylcholine. And what acetylcholine does is that it regulates the heartbeat. And so basically, if you can make this visual with me here, you can imagine that the heartbeat is beating fast, right? And the only thing that slows down the heartbeat is this slow faucet drop of acetylcholine. And every time it hits the heart, it calms it down. And that's what regulates your heartbeat.
That's why it takes a little minute to calm down after you got worked up in that fight or flight mode, like you're saying.
And so then you tell me that if your head is tilted and the vagus nerve is being, we can use the word pinch, but also just being restricted, right?
Yeah.
So
that drip is not even dripping.
Yeah, not even dripping. So now the heart rate is going up. So now the stroke volume of the heart is starting to pump more. So now your heart rate and your blood pressure is going up, and you're like a healthy person. You're like, why is my blood pressure 160 over 90? You're like, this don't make no sense, right? And then you get this set back on the right condyles, right? Condyles being what holds the skull, we call those condyles of the Atlas. Atlas carries the skull, which is the world. And if you look into Greek mythology, that's the same thing. He would carry the world. And so this is your world. This is everything, is your brain. Without the brain, you will slowly fade away. And so why you should see a chiropractor is...
Oh, yeah. That's a great segue back into it. I was deep into the visual. I was waiting for the faucet to start dripping again. I'm like, how do we? Basically, yeah, chiropractic will help you get that drip back. You know what I'm saying? And
sound therapy too. I want you to kind of touch on that a little bit too about
I mean,
experiences you've had.
It's crazy. I mean, I definitely have gotten some calls from family and other people, you know, that know me and know my music. You know, some people who have been in, you know, sad to say, but nursing homes and, you know, elderly care. Was supposed to be elderly care, we got to do a better job of taking care of our elderly. The state of the world's gone crazy. Joe Biden needs to get some help. I don't know what's going on out on that stage. That shit crazy. But side note, you know what I'm saying? They call me and they tell me, this music, this lady has had dementia for years, and this music is the only thing that puts a smile on her face. Mm-hmm. And like while I'm making it, you know, of course I put intention into it, but you never really know, you know, how it's gonna affect someone or who it's gonna reach. You know, that reach that it has. I'm really thankful for, you know, 432 The Drop for always, you know, broadcasting, you know, my sounds on their airways and helping with the frequency war and frequency awareness. Cause people don't even know that, you know, our music's tuned in the wrong frequency right now, 440 hertz. So basically, it's hard to heal. Music is supposed to heal you naturally, right, but if it's in this 8 vibration, you know what I'm saying, 4 plus 4 plus 0 is 8. It makes it hard for your body to resonate at a 9, which is, you know, the only whole number. A 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 times 9, 81. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 5. 9 plus any number equals itself, you know what I'm saying? 9 plus 5, 14, 1 plus 4, 5. All that kind of goes into the mathematics of making the music and understanding that there's already a system in place for you to take your uniqueness and your purpose and, you know, share it with the world. And say you're a healer who needs to, you know, reach the people that you need to heal. It's easier than it's ever been. You know, maybe, you know, start practice by putting your hands on some trees, putting your hands on things around you, listening to the people around you, understanding what people need to heal from. Because for me, you know, kind of segueing from music back into the health journey, which it's all connected. But for me, like watching a lot of my family members die consecutively back to back to back, and you know, my own inner struggle of not feeling as young as I thought I should, and you know, being 18 feeling like, you know, I got prostate problems. It's like, bro, you're 18, like what's going on? So it just kind of prompted some looking into, not to get too deep into all that, but definitely it's all connected with, you know, the music, the healing, the comedy. It's funny, we haven't really been in that mindset too much as far as making the comedy content, man, but going back and watching those, it really, you know, warms the heart. And just knowing that, you know, our foundation that we're coming from is, you know, it's not one of greed, it's not one of lust, it's not one of, you know, it's one of brotherhood and the Most High and creation and just healing the people. Like, you can't really go wrong with that, you know. So it's easy for me to go on and on all day about this. You know, you guys will have to get the Peel exclusive on who your host is, CJ Battle. I try to put as much into the songs as possible. I got new projects coming out. I've been working with a bunch of different artists. Just got off of a jazz tour, a very healing genre of music. You know, they're using real strings and real brass and real voices and all, just feeling the vibes together. Like you should be able to feel the vibes around you and jump rope. Like let's double dutch. You know what I'm saying? Even us being able to sit down right here and rap about neurology, like we gotta be able to see the other person's perspective that's across from us. We gotta, it's.
Yeah, whenever you are in the presence of people who are resonating, and they're resonating at a healing frequency, right? That's something that is emitted from the body once you have reached a state of awareness, then you are present. So all the time there's energy all around us, and not the energy where you look up on Google where they're like, oh, power times watt. Not that bullshit. I'm talking about real energy, right? That energy can't be defined. You can't quantify or qualify what energy is. It's something that is and it's always over and around all the time. And whenever you become very aware, then you are sensitive to the energy. You're sensitive to the way that it feels. You know that whenever you walk into the room and somebody walks in and nothing's said, but you know the awkwardness. Awkwardness is a sense of energy shift, right?
Hey, read the room, guys. You gotta know how to read the room. There's a lot of people that don't know how to read the room. I'm like, eesh.
Yeah, and you can, that's a form of unawareness. That means that you're not attached to what is and what can be. All that is disconnected from the spirit, and you're disconnected from the spirit. That means that you are now dangling from a thread, and any opportunity you can be left, because what it is survival of the fittest. And the more that you tap into your awareness, the more that you are fit, right? Because then you are aware that your body needs broccoli. You're aware that your body needs bok choy. You're aware that your body needs spinach at this time, dark leafy greens.
Copper, silver, gold. Facts. Like your body is missing these metals, these crystals. Might need some salt. Might need some. You know what I'm saying? So phosphorus. Right. So cool.
And when you are tapped out of that frequency, then you aren't aware. And when you're tapped out of the energy, then you aren't aware. Whenever you're sitting with somebody, that in that current moment that you are confluencing of energies, and whenever that resonance starts to formulate and starts to begin, what happens is that it thickens, and whenever that vibration goes in, now healing is happening if you know it or not. And so one of the main things I work with is chi. Chi is your life energy, and whenever you fill the space with that chi, now people who come into that space, if they're aware or not, they're beginning to be healed. Things are starting to change. Things are beginning to shift in that presence, and that is something that they have even studied in the book Infinite Mind by Valerie Hunt. If you want a good read, you can dive into that. And what she realized, that she actually used real technology, to define that energy is real through the same scans they use to check if the airplane is losing a screw, is missing a screw. That same vibrational impulse they use, and they scan on the body, and then you can tell that there was a chakra point there.
Wait, so they touch a plane and they can tell where a screw is missing on the plane?
With the machinery. They would scans it, and it'll be like, oh, because with these planes, there's so many screws and pieces, and if it takes off with all that pressure and the screws missed, that's a bad sign. Yeah. So they all scan this to make sure there's no screws loose, nothing going on before the plane takes off.
I've been seeing a lot of duct tape on these airplanes lately, man.
Well, that's Spirit. What's going on with that? You're flying Spirit with the frontier right there, man. So, and so with Valerie Hunt, through Infinite Mind, she realized that you can scan and you can tell that there's life and there's energy in certain spots. And she went up, and each of them was a chakra point that was storing this energy. And also what she realized is that whenever you, she did crazy studies. You should really check this book out. What she realized is that you would put a baby down. You can put a baby down that is not with its mom, and it's scared, fearful, and you can put the baby in the middle of the room. And the person with the highest energy, she would use a scan it. The person with the highest energy, the baby would just crawl there intuitively.
Shout out to babies, man. I always used to use my daughter to let me know who not to mess with. You know what I'm saying? She started crying around you. I'm like, hey, no, it's cool. She does that with everybody. I'm fine.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, man. No, energy it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Can't be. It's like the internet. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we have devices that can house it, but can you really put your finger on it? Yeah. I mean, besides the fact that we could touch our screens and actually put our finger on it. Yeah. I just mean, can you hold it? Can you feel the internet? Can you feel the energy? And just know that, because for me, I always feel people are the most important investment. and just cultivating the people around you to be able to move and work their energy to the healing state of consciousness and awareness, because there's a lot of blocks that, you know, we've all been. If you're where you are now and aware of where you are now, you've been in a space where you're not aware of where you are. You know what I'm saying? So we all need help. It takes the ones who are aware to bridge the gap of knowledge, finding better ways to communicate, you know, maybe examples. Sometimes it may not be best received from you. Maybe you just need to connect them with somebody else who might deliver the message the appropriate way and can help save your family's life. So definitely.
That is so true. With people desensitized and unaware to what energy is, that they can't tell good energy from bad energy as well, because you speaking on the internet, even the Wi-Fi router emits a certain form of radiation, and
Bluetooth.
people wondering why they're struggling to sleep at night and why they're tossing and turning. And what I realize and what I tell my patients is, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust you, we're going to regulate the nervous system, but then also what I want you to do is regulate your home. So what you're going to do is you're going to go home and then you do the work as well, because this is not just me coming here, hey, come get healed. No, like, you have to start regulating your whole life. And so I tell them, hey, first thing is put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And then that's going to cut off the radiation coming from the 5G towers, because there's no reason for you to be asleep and for you to be receiving radiation when you're sleeping, because your muscles are feeling that, and your muscles are operating at a lower function. This study shows that whenever the radiation, if you have a phone in your pocket and they muscle test you, your arm is weaker. You take the phone out, your arm is strong. So there is a direct correlation between weakness and the radiation.
Frequency, right? Man. It goes all back to the frequency war, the resonant, the 9, the 8, the 7. You know, we want to be in that 9 frequency, because that's when our bodies become the most complete structurally. And if we're vibrating, if we're hanging around honeybees, if we're hanging around 432 hertz, 864 hertz, you know what I'm saying? All these different healing frequencies, the heart, the chakra frequencies, that is what's going to allow our bodies and our cells to generate in the sacred geometrical shapes that are meant for our bodies to be in full form, you know, and get the most out of this existence that we're in.
And that's why I tell my patients, you know, that when they turn their phone Do Not Disturb and they turn their Wi-Fi box off, then they always come back and they have the best sleep. But before that, they would toss and turn. They would wear through sheets of bed in like 2 months. It's all just from them tossing left, right, can't get stable. Neck is sore when they're sleeping. And I tell them, hey, turn those 2 things off and then watch what happens. Even if you are in a high dense area where there's 5G towers around you, they put them around all the schools now. So the kids are getting hit with all these 5G towers. If you take, there's blocks. You can get 5G blockers and you put that in your house.
Some orgonite.
Also, yes, sir. And then you wear your 5G blocking jackets, which is lined with silver.
Hey, shout out to No Choice for the sponsorship. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Definitely got to stay strapped with that. And, you know, these are just different things that if you are aware and you're sensitive to energy, then you're sensitive to negative energy too. And you'll know that if you keep your microwave plugged in, that you're going to be getting frequencies for no reason, because you're not using the microwave, and you shouldn't be using the microwave. And then if you have your TV plugged in, and God forbid you're sleeping with a TV in your room, then now you're getting all of those. And then even if you really silence your mind and you drop into your heart, you can even hear the static of the TV even though it's not on. You can feel the energy of the TV even though it's not on.
Oh yeah, that hum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Staring at you.
Yeah, and
waiting.
And so I'm honored, man, to be on the Peel. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is something that I definitely want to keep investing into and watching it grow, because this is something that the community needs. The community is in need, dire need of awareness. And this man right here, CJ, is a perfect example of awareness. He is showing it to the community, but also to the world. This man is also well-versed and traveled many places, but also not traveled and visited, but traveled and lived and became part of the land. And that's one thing I honor about this man right here, that is healing right there, is to go back to land that has always been yours, right? And they tell you that it's not, and they create these fake boundaries around states, saying that you cross this line, now you're in this place and that place, when all land, it was made for us, all people. And it's just a form of segregation that they're trying to limit and separate people. But this man right here has been to different plains and mountains and fields and beaches and bodies of water that many people his age has not touched. But he went there with a purpose to heal that community. Everywhere he goes, he helps the community. And the peel is just going to be an example of helping the community without a doubt. I'm already just feeling the energy of it.
Yeah, man. The peel is going to bridge the gap between all of us, man. We're going to take the show beyond the ice wall. We're going to see what they're talking about out there, bring it back. We're going to, the perspective is just going to grow. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah.
So it definitely is, it's cool to be a part of it. It's all, you know, divine how everything just aligned for me to be here right now and with you. Being here right now, able to share this knowledge with the people, like, I don't even know if they realize, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
it was shooting on the iPhone, you know what I'm
man.
saying, so it was,
Way from, like, talk about way back in the gap.
Yeah.
We was shooting from the iPhone, we were creating skits, we were, man, I'm talking about.
Man, I'll be talking to your chiropractic students and, you know, the people who come to your seminars, which I know you have a few coming up actually.
Yeah.
So any chiropractic students watching this, definitely go sit in on the seminars. I'm not even a chiropractic student, and I leave there feeling confident to cavitate the adjustment. I can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm just I'm real proud of you, man, and I'm speechless just at the growth, the rate of speed that you support your community and your community supported you to be where you are now, man. It's just awesome to watch. Like, it's just a story. So I had to get you at least to sit on the peel, and we'll have multiple episodes. Your perspective will change. You know, we'll be different locations. I wanted to show them the office, you know, when they come in, so they'll be familiar and they'll know this is a safe space and this is made for them to begin their healing journey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But thank you again, Dr. Isuo, for coming in to sit on the peel. Again, I'm your host, CJ Battle, and thank you guys for watching.
Yes, sir. Love.